with name tags on around their neck with their names on it. No mothers, no fathers, just the children came to this place where I was going to sleep that night.
I see.
And that's where they were. But during early '44, we had the Germans under control for bombing London, and so the kids went back to London. So this was a vacated place. So there was bunks in it, I remember that, and I found a bunk and put my few belongings in there, and that's where I slept that night. That's where I stayed.
Now, just, I know this, but the people who are going to listen to this don't know. Where did you fit in the whole military? What did you belong to? What group? And what was your part?
I was Air Force, and I was mechanic, and I was headed for a fighter group, which I didn't know anything about. It was a P-51 Mustang group, about 100 miles south, just north of London, northeast of London. That's where I was headed, but I didn't know it at the time. They gave me orders later on, but that's what I was headed for the 8th Air Force with the 357th Fighter Group, P-51. And whoever hears this might remember who Chuck Yeager is, or, well, still is. He's still alive.
The great pilot, yes. We are in 2009, and you met Chuck Yeager in the 80s, didn't you? Or
well, I was with Chuck Yeager in the same squadron.
You were with Chuck Yeager?
I was with Chuck Yeager, the 357th Fighter Group, and he became famous over there. He was shot down once, and he had shot down, before he left for the United States, 12 or 13 Nazi aircraft.
Chuck Yeager wasn't he the one that broke the speed of sound, and then later did a lot of other things?
1948, I think he broke the sound barrier in October.
Yes, out in Arizona
somewhere. It was kept secret from the Russians for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So anyway, I slept in these
coops.
Well, coops. I guess they were chicken coops. I can still see them today. I have no pictures of them, but I could see them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was okay. We slept there, and we went to a mess hall to eat, and then they made us march because we had nothing to do. We were just stationed there until they got us separated and sent on by available trains to London and And, I really enjoyed the countryside because we marched. That was part of even the Air Force. We had to do some marching.
Sure.
So we marched, and beautiful weather it happened to be at that time. And so that's what happened to the children from London. This is the story I'm telling.
Yeah.
So then after this, I'll say that I got on the train all by myself. Nobody else went with me to go to the 357 Fighter Group. I was all by myself.
Yeah.
And I wound up at Saxmundham, and a truck come and got me and took me to the 357th Fighter Group, but I had never been on a combat fighter group before with 75 P-51s.
Yeah.
It was quite an experience, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I imagine.
As a 21-year-old, it's something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, getting back to the children, this is what happened to the English children. They went up there and other places in the north, and they fed them, and they kept them overnight, and then when things got better in London, there wasn't so much bombing, they went back to their parents. If their parents were still alive, that's the other thing, then they had to be adopted out.
Sure.
But then we have the problem of French children who had to go through the same thing, Dutch children, but the big one was the German children.
Yeah, Jewish children.
Jewish children, all kinds of children, all over Germany.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happened to most of the Jewish children.
Okay, stop 1 second.
Didn't take very much.